The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
The estimated real gross domestic product growth rate amounted to 9.5% for February 2024 compared to previous year, and the average real GDP growth for January-February 2024 equaled 7.7% according to the preliminary data from the National Statistics Office of Georgia, Geostat. The Black Sea Arena in Georgia Shekwatili Resort will host concerts by One Republic, Scorpions and Jungle. The following performances are scheduled: One Republic on May 10th, Scorpions on May 31st and Jungle on August 18. According to the event organizer Black Sea Arena, ticket sales for all concerts will begin gradually from March 29. To celebrate the Georgian national football team's historic victory and participation in the 2024 European Championship, the National Bank of Georgia will issue a Euro 2024 collector's coin. The decision was made by the board of the National Bank of Georgia. The NBG will collaborate with the Georgian Football Federation to design the collectible coin. The international rating agency Moody's improved the outlook of Georgia's sovereign credit rating from negative to stable and confirmed the rating at the Ba2 level. According to the agency, the improved outlook accredits to the assessment of Georgia's vulnerability to geopolitical risks at a lower level. The strengths of the rating are high economic growth, the Georgian economy's resilience to shocks, strong institutional framework, fiscal stability, and low inflation. The rating reflects the situation of Georgia, balancing the risks and, despite geopolitical shocks, retaining economic sustainability and high economic growth. According to the agency's assessment, the economic growth for Georgia is expected at the level of 5.5% in 2024. This is The Checkpoints. I'm Elena Guangelashvili, author and the host of the show, and the Checkpoints team is ready to sum up business and economics week for you. The development of Georgia's economy and finance sector, the importance of the Middle Corridor, the empowerment of commercial arbitration and third-party liability coverage were among the topics on the agenda of the 22nd meeting of the Investors' Council on Friday. Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze opened the council's meeting. The head of government focused on the country's economic growth and spoke about the positive trends in this direction. The Prime Minister pointed out the importance of investors and business in the process of further empowering the country's economy, also noting that the authorities give priority to supporting them. Representatives of the Investors' Council's member business associations and international financial institutions discussed matters relevant to business. The conversation touched about Georgia's EU integration and related reforms. Here's our interview with American Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Walton, thank you for being with us and taking our questions.
Thank you for having me.
What is AmCham's initiative about setting up a business working group that will be dealing with some issues that are connected with the Middle Corridor? In which ways could the private sector contribute to this process?
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me. Most appreciate it to talk about this very important issue. Before we get onto the Middle Corridor, though, I do really want to congratulate the Georgian people, the team, everybody involved for the fantastic result last night. I am sure there are very few people watching the show today whose principal concern is the Middle Corridor. Hopefully that will be our concern moving forward, but right now everyone is appropriately obsessed with the great result. So congrats on that.
So you have been cheering hard.
Yes, absolutely. I think everyone in the country
Exactly.
was cheering along on that one. So in answer to your question, just to start by being clear, I mean, the American Chamber of Commerce brought this issue forward as part of the Investor Council, and obviously the Investor Council represents this wide range of business associations, the international financial institutions, the World Bank, EBRD, IFC and others, and of course all the partners amongst the Georgian government. And it's a great platform for bringing people together precisely because it brings a great deal of expertise and knowledge on the ground that particularly is coming from the private sector, combined with the technical knowledge and expertise that both the government and the IFIs bring. The reason we thought it was important to bring this up, and we of course prepared this in advance with all the other business associations and all the other partners, the reason why we thought this was important to bring up is that if you're looking at Georgia right now and thinking about economic growth over the next 10, 20, whatever number of years, there really are two things on the horizon which are the principal focus of your attention. One, of course, is EU membership, and again, congratulations on gaining the candidate status. That is phenomenal and possibly the most transformative thing that has happened in the 20 years I've been in Georgia. The second thing, of course, is the Middle Corridor. Now, for an awfully long time, the Silk Road was talked about as this potentially transformative thing that Georgia was part of, but often that was very hopeful, that was very aspirational. I think the EU potential membership, and then of course Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the reorganization of the region that this has created has really made the Middle Corridor a very pressing and major part of any plans that anyone would have for the growth of the country. So when we look at what's going on, there's obviously a huge amount of work going on in this space already. I mean, we're basically seeing huge amounts of investment in every component of the infrastructure that is related to this. Obviously, we're seeing this going on in the ports, in the roads, in the railway, in the airports. Each one of these subjects are things that could be talked about at great length. Added to which there have been international agreements come to bringing together the countries along the Silk Road. A couple of years ago, we had the agreement between Georgia, Turkey, Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan about basically coordinating economic activity, particularly on transport and logistics. We've seen a lot of private investment going on into the sector. But after the infrastructure and the international coordination, the work on the areas of internal coordination, and particularly what happens at the borders, so customs activities and how one transitions goods into and out of the country, become a critical part of the story.
What type of clarity could the involvement of a business community bring to the table? Because you also mentioned all sorts of things. We've already seen World Bank's official research that says basically the same, that there are a lot of challenges on the way, together with the opportunities, and this needs prioritization. How could business help in defining these priorities?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I think the principal role that the businesses bring to the table is a practical understanding of how policy is being implemented on the ground and the way this is being experienced by the businesses. Of particular note from that World Bank report that you've cited extensively already is the fact that between 2021 and 2022, you saw a very significant increase in the container cargo that was going along the Silk Road. But then between 2022 and 2023, you saw most of those gains being reversed. Now, a lot of that comes down to the simple fact that this route continues to be quite an expensive route, and that a lot of those expenses are to do with not having enough physical infrastructure or not good enough physical infrastructure, and that is being fixed by the government. But also a lot of it ends up being about administration and how things happen at borders. And businesses can be very good at sort of explaining to the government and having discussions with the government about how things need to be practically implemented. I'll give you an example. We as AmCham, when the war started, had a number of big consumer companies approaching us. That is, companies that were selling consumer goods like, soft drinks and bars of chocolate and bleach and things like that, most of which gets imported into the country. Now, historically, that got imported from Russia because that was the sort of production hub. In the aftermath of the war with Ukraine, all of these companies wanted to be bringing their products from places other than Russia, particularly bringing it from the EU. But the products were labelled in a way that didn't fit with Georgian law because they were coming out of factories that didn't produce packaging of the right kind. So we were able to get the Georgian government to sort of suspend the law on packaging for a period of time to allow the shift from the Russian production to the European production, so that now almost all of the products that are coming into the country of that kind are no longer being sourced out of Russia. Now, that's a practical administrative issue that may simply not have occurred to a government person, and a business can advise on it.
More about that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one sort of area. There are other areas where customs practices look great on paper, or where a piece of new technology is brought into place, but it ends up not really working very well with businesses' sort of workflows. And so it needs to be tweaked in various ways. And so we've been working through the Investor Council with a range of different elements of this transportation corridor and transport logistics issues. The EBRD through the Investor Council is working with the government on some broad strategic planning, like the new transport logistics strategy that will be coming out in the next year. They're also working on helping to develop a system to allow trucks to be taken onto rail, so that we actually can take some of the trucks off the road and facilitate, because obviously as much as possible, we want the middle corridor to be a rail corridor rather than a road corridor, because we don't want our roads to get horribly congested or our cities to get terribly polluted. So they've been working in those kind of areas, but then there are these other areas where administration and the experience of businesses on the ground can be incredibly useful for helping to sort of fine-tune the details of how these things are implemented.
So what type of businesses should be involved in this working group? I mean, are you looking like specifically to those that have to deal with the middle corridor, or do you think like expertise of the business community is broader enough to be contributing to this process?
Sure. Well, I mean, thanks for giving me the opportunity to say nice things about my organization. I mean, business associations like AmCham, which is the largest international business association in Georgia, I mean, really bring together a very significant proportion of the Georgian economy as a whole, and we operate specifically to try and bring together a range of different views and a range of different elements of expertise. And it might not just be one thing. I mean, you often need lawyers and accountants and transport and logistics experts, but then also maybe production experts in particular areas. So we would aim to bring in and bring the expertise where necessary to deal with the particular questions, and we will engage with our members to do that. And so the current format of the Investor Council, which is mostly working through these big business associations, is a good way of bringing expertise from an incredibly wide range of sectors. Now, of course, transport and logistics companies are going to be a significant part of that, but then there are almost no businesses that don't involve some significant element of import into the country of what they are doing. I mean, you know, consumer goods companies, of course, but tourism companies, construction companies. I mean, everybody is bringing things in to do part of their business, and so they all have different kinds of expertise in how this works.
Mm-hmm. My last question at this point: will this group be more flexible, mobile, more focused on middle corridor issues? Because Investors Council is a great platform, but it has a lot of issues going in and out. How do you see this process? Will that group be more transparent with media, giving comments and bringing that working situation to the light, so that we are also involved in what's going on? Because this really is a big opportunity that the country must not miss.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the expression that if there are two things that you don't want to know how they're made, it's laws and sausages. And I think, I mean, there's something to that. I think a lot of the time we're not communicating, and we probably should be better at communicating with people like yourself.
Thank you.
But there's a lot of times when we're not communicating because, quite honestly, the technical detail in some of these areas is not the most exciting thing. I mean, I sit through meetings where people are having hour-long discussions about the details of customs procedures, and even as somebody who is very, very interested in this, I don't necessarily follow it terribly well. This platform, I would imagine, will work like many of the other platforms inside the Investor Council, as in it will be a focal point for different people to have detailed discussions, and then as those discussions become public and start to become things which are discussed as potentially new laws or amendments to laws or new government policy, then that would start to be the appropriate place to have more public discussions about it. I mean, the minutes of all of the Investor Council meetings are made public, and we make ourselves available to have discussions about those in situations like this one. So, I mean, I do think moving forward, to go back to the very first point, I mean, really the two driving logics for a lot of economic growth for Georgia in the medium term is going to be the development of the Middle Corridor and the development of the relationship with the EU. And so these are sort of big picture issues that I think will be a focal point for us and for all of the Investor Council.
So what's the next step? What should we looking for? When shall this group be mobilized or
right? So we've already had the first exchange with the Investor Council Secretariat. I saw you had Georgi Cherkasishvili in one of your earlier packages.
Unanimously, and they are ready to
exactly. So we're in the process of discussing with them exactly how this is going to be composed. I anticipate it will be put together and start working fairly soon. There are lots of issues, and probably the first priority would be to identify exactly which issues one needs to prioritize as a starting point. Yes. And my expectation is that there'll be another Investor Council meeting in a couple of months, and probably at the next Investor Council meeting, the discussions of that working group will be made public, and we'll move forward in deciding exactly how to work on this.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for these details. We will be following, and I hope to see you again.
Very much look forward to it.
Talking about the details. Thank you so much.
Hopefully after more great wins.
Thank you.
June's going to be very exciting. Thank you.
Which are, by the way, connected with Europe and
indeed, absolutely. If we can do that well in this European competition, I'm sure we can do well in all of the European competitions.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
What was new in business this week? Our reporter Natia Taktakishvili will tell us more.
Swiss Hotel Tbilisi has opened with the support of TBC Bank in the historical part of Tbilisi. The hotel is ready to host guests with Swiss standards. Swiss Hotel Tbilisi is another successful project implemented within the framework of cooperation between TBC Bank and one of the largest investment companies in Georgia, Macro Group. The total investment of the project amounts to $50 million. The hotel unites 130 rooms and 4 conference halls for business events. This 5-star hotel offers room service and 24-hour front desk. Guests can use the hot tub or enjoy city views. All units at the hotel are equipped with a TV and a safety deposit box. Guests at the accommodation can enjoy a buffet breakfast. Popular points of interest near Swiss Hotel Tbilisi include Rustaveli Theatre, Freedom Square, and Tbilisi Opera and Ballet Theatre. The nearest airport is Tbilisi International Airport, 15 kilometers away from the hotel. I'm glad that Tbilisi has joined the Swiss Hotel chain with the support of TBC Bank. Swiss Hotel includes more than 30 hotels in 17 countries worldwide. The facility will take the country's hospitality and tourist potential to a new level of development as we brought the Western standards and Swiss quality to Georgia, Georgi Tkhelidze, Deputy General Director of TBC Bank, said. Some insurance companies claim that awareness of property insurance is very low. According to the companies, both businesses and individuals don't insure their property and they pay the loss themselves. As of the assessments, property insurance policies are mainly concentrated in those companies that are affiliated with the banking sector, so it's necessary to establish fair competition conditions in the market in this direction as well. Mikhail Japaridze, General Director of the company, Ardi, says that a large share of property insurance insurance policies is mainly related to the bank loans. In the case of property insurers, there is very little growth. The market is very sluggish and nothing special is happening. In general, property insurance is very cheap and the share is small. People and businesses really insure their property. Property insurance is not carried out even though the products exist. One of the most important factors is to increase awareness of property insurance as a tool. The state should be involved, which we don't see today, Mikhail Japaridze said. Founded in 2010, Ark became one of the sophisticated insurance service providers in Georgia, having continual development pipeline since its inception. Makuna Gabunia, co-founder of flower shop Mao Flowers, declares that flowers are becoming more expensive every year after the pandemic. According to her, the reason for the price increase was the growing cost of imported products and logistical problems. Production costs grew by about 50% due to the expensive imports. We don't use local products because they don't meet the required standards. Accordingly, we import products from Kenya, Ecuador, and Poland. As of today, the price of one rose ranges within 12 lari. Therefore, demand for large bouquets is down due to the low purchasing power of the local population, Gabunia says. According to her, most of the customers are local residents, in particular men. But because online sales are very convenient, women also often send flowers as gift. The company employs 4 people, but they also add staff during the holidays. It should be noted that the volume of flowers imports increased by 43% in 2023 compared to 2022. Hotel brand DoubleTree by Hilton will be opened in the village of Vajini in Gurjani municipality. Malhas Bitsatze, director of hotel project management company GVG Plus, explains that the project provides construction of 67 villas along with the hotel on a land area of 12 hectares. The investment value of the project is 50 million lari. The hotel is scheduled to open by autumn 2025. Malhas Bitsatze notes that the project is built with the support of state agency Enterprise Georgia, and the agency's co-financing amounts to 6 million lari. A 100-room hotel project of the DoubleTree by Hilton brand includes the arrangement of a spa center, indoor and outdoor pools, saunas, as well as massage area. The hotel will also have restaurant and conference spaces. The director of GVG Plus says that after the launch, the hotel will create 100 jobs. DoubleTree by Hilton is an American hotel chain managed by Hilton worldwide with 55 years of project managing experience in the hospitality sector. The brand currently manages more than 580 rooms and resorts worldwide. Dried fruits manufacturing company Bebos Cherry, located in the village of Dusheti, has been operating in the local market for 4 years. As Ketevan Jiniashvili, the founder of Bebos Cherry, told BMDG, she plans to increase production by 40% this year and enter the chain markets. According to her, last year the company took part in USAID's program Strong Village, after which the company re-equipped the enterprise and increased production. In 2023, we took part in the program Strong Village and we won it. As a result, the company purchased machinery worth 50,000 lari. This year, we expect to increase production capacity by about 40%. Moreover, the issue of product packaging will be resolved. We introduced GMP standard in the enterprise, says Jiniashvili. According to her, in addition to production growth, the company is negotiating with the chain markets. Bebos Cherry plans to diversify the assortment and add chocolate direction. Work on this should start this year. Bebos Cherry employs over 3 people in the enterprise. However, after the increase in production, staff number will also increase. Bebos Cherry produces about 60 types of dried fruits. The price of the product starts from 15 lari and reach 120 lari per kilogram. The most expensive dried fruit is strawberry. The monthly production of the company is up to 10 tons of products. Sopot Chouimiani, co-founder of Hotel Shkedi, located on Mestia Hatsuali Road, evaluates current season with BMDG. According to her, 70% of hotel is already booked for the summer. The active tourist season of Shkedi starts in late May and lasts until October. Since we cooperate with travel agencies, we mainly host tourist groups, in particular from France, Italy, Poland, Ukraine, and etc. There are also Georgians, but mostly we have international guests. We already have pre-bookings for summer. July, August, and September are booked by 70%. Twemiani says. According to her, a double room in the hotel costs 100 lari without meals, 150 lari with breakfast, and 180 lari with a two-course meal. The co-founder of the hotel names the lack of tourist promotion activities among the challenges and notes that such events significantly increase the hotel's awareness. Hotel Shkedi has been operating since 2019. The hotel has 23 rooms and can accommodate 55 people. The hotel currently employs 7 people. Last week, shop Emotia Wines was opened in Tbilisi, which brings together 4 jewelry brands under one company: Emotia Wines, Wine Diamond, and Marila. The founder of the company, Tamar Abuladze, told BMDG shop Emotia Wines is the first wine store jewelry showroom worldwide. According to her, the company also has a small enterprise and a workshop. The loyal customers have been waiting for a physical space for a long time. As for online sales, they were sure not to receive a low-quality product from us, but it's much more comfortable to see the jewelry on the spot. This is the first store in the world where wine-sewn jewelry is sold, and we are actively trying to develop this direction outside the country as well, Tamar Abuladze notes. The showroom located on Politkovskaya Street includes an office as well as workshop and a factory. Now the company employs 5 people, and its founder notes that opening a store means moving to a new stage of development. The Emotia Wines and Wine Diamond includes wine-themed jewelry and souvenirs, which price range from 89 lari to 380 lari. The price of Marila Georgian wine salt starts from 23 lari. The company was founded in 2020 amid the pandemic. Noonki.store plans to open a physical shop this year. The founder of the company, Nana Kakabadze, spoke about this while visiting BMG TV. Supposedly, we will open a physical space this summer in Tbilisi, in a tourist-active place where customers will be able to have a better look at our products and buy them. We have not yet calculated the exact investment needed for opening the store, although it's not be a small amount, Nana Kakabadze said. Noonki.store produces over 500 units of clothes per month, the price of which range from 50 lari to 300 lari. According to Nana Kakabadze, the company constantly tries to offer customers various promotions and discounts to make Noonki.store product more affordable. Noonki.store has been operating on the Georgian market since 2021, which is a handmade, eco-friendly children's brand. Noonki.store creates winter-style children's clothes, which, despite its unusual design, is quite comfortable and suitable for everyday use.
President of the world's largest hotel chain, Wyndham Hotels and Resorts EMEA, Dimitris Manikis, has a very important message on the importance of the capital's first branded residences, Wyndham Grand Residence Tbilisi, the role of the hospitality brand in the project, and Alliance Highline as a large-scale and transformative complex for the region. Let us learn more about the successful investment formula seen through the perspective of a leading hospitality brand.
Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, it's the world's biggest franchisor of hotels globally. We've got 9,200 hotels. We're present in 95 countries. We've got 25 brands, 19 brands we've actually acquired during the history of our brand. And we're extremely excited that we've got a huge presence in Georgia. And I'm really excited that I'm here just to talk to you about not just our great presence around the world, but more specifically about our great presence in Georgia. Wyndham Residences actually initiated in the Europe, Middle East, Eurasia, and Africa region, and it plays a very important part of our portfolio because we realized that our owners, our investors, they wanted something else outside of a hotel. You know, we live in a world where mixed use, co-living, co-working, branded residences plays a very important role in how you develop infrastructure in the country. So we had a lot of our owners, a lot of our business partners saying, but you've got such wonderful brands, can I actually use one of your brands in my branded residences? And we said, that's amazing. Why we haven't thought about it before? So we grew our branded residences in EMEA. We have a huge pipeline now. What does it mean for people? What does it mean for investors? It means brand, safety. It means brand standards. It means the collaboration with one of the world's biggest franchise company. It means awareness, acknowledgement, and above all, it means distribution. So if you put all of this together, you have a great, interesting mix of a beautiful property with what Wyndham has to offer. So it's a winning formula. That's what it is at the end. Highline, Wyndham, branded residences, Tbilisi, Georgia, cosmopolitan, location, wine, history, culture, storytelling. We tell a story. Credibility of the builder, credibility of the management company, credibility of the sales organization that actually sells those residences, delivery, quality of building, quality of destination, location, again, brand. So you put all this together and you create a product that people cannot say no to. It takes two people, two companies, two visions in order to deliver what is actually being delivered today. The Highline is the outcome of a vision that Alliance had. And I've known the Alliance team, I had the pleasure of knowing them for many, many years. And it's amazing to see how the vision converts to reality. I've met a lot of visionary people that just stayed that, visionaries. Here, it's a unique thing to come back to Tbilisi after 3 years almost, with COVID and everything, to see the Highline being there and to see the vision of the Alliance team actually being delivered. We, the brand, we only do a small part in that whole amazing storytelling. It's the Alliance team, it's their vision, it's the team, it's the members that they've actually created a story that deserves to be told. I am extremely proud that I am part of that story. I'm extremely proud that Wyndham is part of that story, and I'm extremely happy to see the vision becoming reality. Highline, storytelling, and Tbilisi, it's a winning combination.
Next week, the Doing Digital Forum will be held in Yerevan. This year, the theme is Embracing Opportunities, while the forum will focus on the latest approaches to digital transformation in finance and business. Speakers will examine opportunities and the specifics of their localization and position Armenia as a growing hub for digital transformation within the global technological and business community that's enhancing the country's competitiveness. This year's Doing Digital Forum promises an exciting lineup of foremost personalities and engaging topics, featuring some of the world's top speakers, leading professionals, and experts. The keynote speaker of DDF24 is Brett King, world-renowned futurist, the founder of a new banking concept and best-selling author. Ameria Bank, a leading Armenian financial and technology company, is supporting the Doing Digital Forum for the second year, while the innovation partner of the event is Visa. The Doing Digital Forum welcomes all enthusiasts of digital transformation and advancement of the digital economy. And what was new in the economy this week in our short overview.
The signing of a declaration on establishing a strategic partnership between Armenia and Georgia has elevated bilateral relations to a new level, stated Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze at a joint press conference with his Armenian counterpart Nikol Pashinyan on March 25 in Yerevan. Prime Minister Kobakhidze also reported that discussions covered the current cooperation between two countries in various sectors such as politics, transportation, economics, tourism, and other. Our partnership will continue to deepen and involve in all these directions. This is extremely important, he emphasized. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and former Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili signed a declaration on establishing a strategic partnership between Armenia and Georgia on January 26, 2024 in Tbilisi. According to the Georgian official sources, the trade turnover between Georgia and Armenia exceeded $1 billion by the end of 2023. Armenia is the sixth trading partner and the second investment destination for Georgia. It's very important for us that, in fact, all the three major credit ratings agencies kept Georgia's rating unchanged in the condition when the rating deteriorated massively in the region due to the geopolitical situation, the Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development Levan Davitashvili said at the briefing held after the government meeting. According to him, the sovereign credit rating is a very important indicator in the direction of confidence in the country's economy. We are very close to the investment rating, and of course we are doing our best to further improve our economic parameters against the background of macroeconomic stability. We will eventually achieve this investment grade and cheaper financial resource for Georgian economy, financial system, and of course all this in the end will once again contribute to economic processes and economic growth in our country, said Levan Davitashvili. The international rating agency Moody's improved the outlook of Georgia's sovereign credit rating from negative to stable and confirmed the rating at Ba2 level. According to the agency's assessment, economic growth is expected at the level of 5.5% in 2024. Otar Shamugia, the Minister of Environmental Protection and Agriculture of Georgia, on Wednesday said state would continue co-finance expenses required for maintenance of annual crops by farmers. Shamugia said the financing would be continued at a rate of annual 9% with the upper limit of 100,000 lari. In the previous year, we will allow farmers who are cultivating annual crops to take loan of growing annual crops. We will finance an interest rate of 9% for a year. The maximum loan amount will be 100,000 lari. It's important to support our farmers in the financing of expenses necessary for the maintenance, care and cultivation of annual crops. The Minister of Environmental Protection and Agriculture, Otar Shamugia, spoke with the media representatives after the government session. He also noted all costs of growing crops in hazelnut orchards with an area of more than 3 hectares would be financed with up to 3,000 lari, adding farmers could take out loan from 5,000 lari to 300,000 lari for 12 months, co-financing at 8%. The National Bank of Georgia published a report on resident commercial bank loans portfolio. According to the document, the volume of loans issued by commercial banks in February 2024 increased by 350 million lari, or by 0.68% compared to the previous month, and constituted 42.24 billion lari. By the end of February 2024, the volume of loans in national currency increased by 402 million lari, and the volume of loans in foreign currency decreased by 48.73 million lari, or by 0.21% in the same period. By the end of February 2024, the total volume of national currency denominated loans to resident legal entities issued by commercial banks amounted to 8.64 billion lari, and foreign currency denominated loans constituted 14.46 billion lari. Exchange rate effect excluded volume of lending in foreign currency increased by 1.26%. During February 2024, the volume of lending to resident household sector increased by 0.82%, or 222 million lari, and constituted 27.38 billion lari by the end of February 2024. Georgian Minister of IDPs, Labor, Health and Social Affairs Mikhail Sarjoladze met with the representatives of the sector on Wednesday to review the DRG system. According to Mikhail Sarjoladze, there is a list of issues that need to be revised under the DRG system. There is a list of issues that we need to work on improving. I would like to say that the DRG itself is a mechanism that provides continuous improvement. Right now, there are opportunities to respond to the needs as quickly as possible, including the price adjustment in both directions, the minister said. The DRG system, practiced globally, was activated in November 2022. The reform aims to increase accessibility to high-quality medical service, reduce co-financing, and ensure efficiency and transparency in the healthcare system. In 2023, the number of live births in Georgia decreased by 5% compared to the previous year. According to the preliminary data from the National Statistics Office of Georgia. In 2023, the largest number of births was recorded in Tbilisi and the smallest in Raja-Lechkomi and Kwemusaneti region. In total number of live births in 2023 compared to 2022, the share of the firstborn in the order decreased from 39.1% to 37.7%. The share of the second child remained almost unchanged and amounted to 33.6%, and the share of third and subsequent births increased from 26.6% to 27.5%. In 2023, in the total number of live births compared to the previous year, the share of children born to the mothers under the age of 25 decreased from 26.5% to 24.6%. The share of mothers in the age of 25-39 age group decreased from 69.6% to 69.4%. An increase was seen among mothers aged 40 and older, with their share increasing from 4% to 6%. In 2023, the average age of mother at the birth of the first child was determined to be 26.7 years old, the document reads. The United Airports of Georgia have procured new M3 category buses equipped with Euro 6 emission standard engines. As per the announcement from the United Airports, the bus timetable will be synchronized with flight schedules and one-way ride will cost $5 in cash or by any bank card. The shuttle service from Kutaisi David Aghmashanabeli Airport will operate to and from the DMO Emirati Administrative Building in the city center.
The United States has supported thousands of Georgian women to pursue their dreams as entrepreneurs, civil servants, educators, and professionals in fields as diverse as energy, technology, manufacturing, agriculture, and logistics. In this video, Ambassador Danigan shares her views on how the U.S.-Georgia partnership to promote gender equality directly benefits all citizens and makes Georgia more secure, prosperous, and democratic.
Gender equality means acknowledging that women and men have the same constitutional and human rights. Gender equality means everyone has the opportunity to develop their potential and pursue their careers and dreams. Gender equality means that women and girls live without fear of sexual harassment, violence, and forced marriage. I'm pleased that Georgia and the United States share a commitment to gender equality. While both of our countries have work to do, we both have proud traditions to draw upon for inspiration. Georgia has a long tradition of empowering women. In 1919, 5 women were elected to the Georgian Republic's National Legislative Assembly. This was revolutionary at the time. In the United States, just 3 years earlier, Jeannette Rankin became the first woman to be elected to Congress. So join us in recognizing women of the past and present who have made sacrifices to build more gender-equal societies to the benefit of everyone. Women who stood against discrimination and worked for equal rights, and women who continue this crucial work, building a more gender-equal society for today and for future generations. All of us, regardless of our gender, have a role to play. All of us can stand for equal rights, for equal opportunities, and for ending violence against women and girls. For me, gender equality means working together to create a world where all people have equal rights and equal opportunities to create more secure, more prosperous, and more democratic societies. The U.S. government's commitment to gender equality is not only today, it's every day.
Tata Sons chairman Natarajan Chandrasekaran on Saturday said the conglomerate will move to 70% green energy by 2030. The chairman of the Tata Group emphasizes the critical importance of the energy transition. According to Chandrasekaran, in addition to green energy, it is necessary to accelerate transitions in the direction of development of digital technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, supply chains. He highlighted India's unique position and geopolitical advantages in responding to these challenges. Tata Group itself emphasizes that the company has the opportunity to play an important role in the development of green energy. Founded by Jamsetji Tata in 1868, the Tata Group is a global enterprise headquartered in India, comprising 30 companies across 10 verticals. The group operates in more than 100 countries across 6 continents with a mission to improve the quality of life of the communities we serve globally through long-term stakeholder value creation based on leadership with trust. Tata Sons is the principal investment holding company and promoter of Tata Companies. 66% of the equity share capital of Tata Sons is held by philanthropic trusts, which support education, health, livelihood generation, and art and culture. In 2022-2023, the revenue of Tata Companies taken together was 150 billion USD. These companies collectively employ over 1 million people. Each Tata company or enterprise operates independently under the guidance and supervision of its own board of directors. There are 29 publicly listed Tata enterprises with a combined market capitalization of 300 billion USD as of July 31st, 2023. Tata Power is a member company of Tata Group, which is one of the largest energy companies in India and the biggest investor in the Georgian energy sector, along with the Norwegian clean energy. The company owns Shuakhyabi HPP Cascade with a capacity of 187 megawatts. In total, Tata Power and Clean Energy have invested 550 million USD for the development of Shuakhyabi HPP. The HPP was put into operation in 2020, and for the 4th year, it has been continuously supplying electricity to the Georgian electricity system and Georgian population. The output of the Shuakhyabi HPP Cascade is increasing year over year. In 2023, the cascade of Shuakhyabi HPP produced a total of 513 kilowatts of electricity, which exceeded the installed capacity by about 10% compared to 2022. The electricity generation has increased by 16%. And that's all for today. We will meet next Sunday, 11 a.m. sharp. Before that, follow us on bm.g and take care.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.